Good evening, I'm Esther Guido. It's Friday, August 30th. This is Africa 54. The Ebola death toll in the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo climbs above 2,000. Local Nigerian recyclers are reducing solid waste by exchanging trash for cash. And dance away your stress with the exciting moves of Masaka Kids Africana. Tonight, we begin in the Democratic Republic of Congo, where the death toll from a year-long Ebola outbreak has now climbed above 2,000, according to the latest government data. Medical responders are continuing their battle to overcome community mistrust and widespread security problems. Lorraine Anthony reports.
The battle against the Democratic Republic of Congo's Ebola outbreak shows little sign of respite. The death toll has now climbed above 2,000, government data revealed on Friday, in what has become the second worst epidemic of the deadly virus on record. One of the disease's latest victims, a 9-year-old Congolese girl, who was found to have the disease after crossing the border into Uganda. Despite the development of effective vaccines and treatments, responders have found the cure and prevention an uphill struggle in the remote conflict-hit areas of eastern Congo. Much of the community are sceptical of the response effort.
We are told that we must be vaccinated, but the important thing is that the disease should end. It's more important to care for people and eradicate the disease. It is only a disease, and when it is cured, it heals and goes away.
This is the Congo's 10th Ebola outbreak, but it's the first in the dense hillside provinces of North Kivu and Ituri, where militia-led violence and ethnic killing is rife. Health workers like Steve Ahuka are desperate to get it under control.
The most important thing for the population is to know that the number of deaths will not continue to rise if the community does not become aware of the danger, if it does not realize that there are measures to prevent other people from dying.
Only the 2013 to 2016 Ebola outbreak in West Africa has been deadlier than this current epidemic.
That was Lorraine Anthony of Reuters reporting. More than 150 migrants are reported to have crossed the border fence at Spain's North African enclave of Ceuta early Friday, according to a government spokesman. At least 6 Spanish police officers suffered minor injuries as they tried to stop them. The spokesman says nearly 250 migrants tried to jump over the fence and some 155 made it through. The incident in Ceuta coincided with the arrival in Spain of a Spanish warship carrying 15 migrants who had been stranded at sea following Italy's refusal to take them in. The Spanish enclaves of Ceuta and Melilla on Morocco's northern coast are a magnet for illegal African migrants trying to reach Europe in search of a better life. A statue in honor of a Zimbabwean scholar and humanitarian Tererai Trent was unveiled this week in New York as part of a project promoting equality, an initiative by Australian sculptors Gilly and Mark Shatner. VOA's Marvelous Nyahuye visited the unveiling ceremony of the statue and has our report.
It is about what we do with the education.
Tererai Trent appeared on the Oprah Winfrey Show in 2009 and inspired the world with her story of pursuing her dreams of education despite enormous odds. Now, she finds herself immortalized alongside Oprah Winfrey and 9 other prominent women with a bronze statue in New York City. She is the only African woman to have received this honor. The Zimbabwean educator and humanitarian was honored as one of 10 statues for equality created by sculptors Gilly and Mark Shatner. The statue depicts Tererai Trent with her hands raised high, surrounded by the flame lily, the country's national flower.
It comes without saying that by projecting these women into larger-than-life-size sculptures, it will help change our society a change that will elevate the lives and achievements of women all around the world.
Trent grew up in a village where she was denied an education like her mother and grandmother because they were girls. She secretly learned to read by using her brother's books, but was ultimately married to an abusive husband at age 11 and had 4 children by 18.
I come from a very poor place, and I grew up very poor. I had 4 babies before I was even 18 years of age, and to think that because of the power of believing in a dream, and today I am being celebrated, and to think I have a statue in New York, the most celebrated cities in the world, is just unbelievable.
But Trent did not let her dreams die. She moved to the United States and studied to receive a PhD, which took her 20 years to complete. Today, she runs the Tererai Trent International Foundation, which is committed to providing education to children in rural Zimbabwe, and is also a sought-after public speaker and author. When appearing on the Oprah Winfrey Show, Oprah announced she would donate $1.5 million to assist Trent in building schools. To date, they have built 12 schools in rural Zimbabwe and helped 38,000 children get an education. Some of them are now going to university. During the unveiling of the statue, Trent said her greatest joy is passing on the opportunity she received to others. She said she made a conscious decision to end a cycle of poverty and oppression that had stifled the women in her family for generations.
My grandmother used to say that when you think about your great-grandmother, when she was born holding this baton, and she passes it on to my grandmother, that baton of early marriage, the baton of poverty, the baton of oppression, and she passes it to my mother. My mother passes it on to me. But at some point, I said I refuse to accept and carry on this baton. So as women and as individuals, we have that choice to say, do I want to carry on and pass on this ugly baton, or do I want to pause in my own life to reflect and say, what baton do I want to pass on? I'm deciding to pass on the baton of education.
Reporting for VOA News in New York, I'm Marvelous Mhlanganyahuye.
100 teenage girls from secondary schools in Malawi have this month undergone the Girls in Science camp at the Malawi University of Science and Technology. The camp aims to develop girls' interest in science fields long believed to be a male domain. Lamek Messina reports from southern Malawi.
The 2-week-long camp is part of the country's initiatives to nurture and encourage future female scientists.
The science camp is organized against a background that in Malawi we have a lot of girls. Actually, when we go to the population, 52% of the Malawi population is females. But when we go through the landscape of science and technology and innovation, you find that the number of females is lower.
During this period, role models and female science students at the university shared their experiences with the campus.
What I can say to those ladies is that if you believe that you can be an engineer, if you believe that you can be a scientist, just do what you believe in. Don't mind about what society tells us. Get out of that space that they put us and be what you want.
The campus have learned skills in water resource management, making traffic robots, manufacturing, and developing computer applications.
Even if I go home now, I know how to program an app, and if I see any other problems, I'm pretty sure that I'm going to find some solutions to it and create more apps and help a lot of people in Malawi.
We have learned about ecology. They have taught us on how to catch mammals so that we can make some other experiments, let's say to test the blood sample or to find out maybe the diseases that affect the birds.
Critics have, however, doubted the effectiveness of the camps, saying the period given to the campus is too short for such complicated subjects. But science lecturers say this camp is an inspiration to the girls.
An inspiration can be 30 minutes. Okay, so what we do is not just to make them experts in science, but to stimulate that interest in science. So that's why we have a combination of different science programs.
Organizers say funds are available and they will start follow-ups to assess and monitor the performance of the campus in their various schools. Lamek Masina reporting from Cholo district in southern Malawi.
Nigeria generates an estimated 32 million metric tons of solid waste per year, one of the highest in Africa. Of that figure, 2.5 million metric tons are plastic waste. To fix the problem, the government in 2009 awarded contracts for the procurement and installation of recyclers across the country. Timothy Obiezu has more from Abuja.
Another day in this junkyard means another opportunity for 30-year-old Awodu Suleiman to make ends meet. He's been here for 6 years, each day scouring through this heap of waste for recyclables. When he's done sorting plastic or aluminum, Suleiman cuts them away for processing.
This work is money for me, and that is why I'm doing it with passion. From this job, I got married to my wife, and it sustains us. Life has been easy with me.
The local recyclers here buy the trash for a token and convert them into reusable products, mostly pots, local burners and cookwares, and then resell them. 55-year-old Mahmoud Ahmed said he's been recycling aluminum for more than 25 years.
I started this work in Lagos before I came to this place. From what I get from the sales of my pots, I'm able to pay school fees for my 7 children.
For many local recyclers like Ahmed, the venture is nothing more than a means of daily survival. But experts say local recycling is much more than that. Nigeria is one of the biggest contributors of solid waste in Africa, with an estimated 32 million metric tons of solid waste per year.
Almost any country in the world has problems with waste management, so Nigeria is not a particularly peculiar case. So the thing is, the fundamental problem we have is because of the logistics that's in the sector. Waste management is pretty expensive.
In 2009, the government awarded contracts for the procurement and installation of recyclers across 26 cities in Nigeria, including the capital. Yet, there are those with loftier goals.
There's also the concept of zero waste. As individuals, we can plan to live a life with less waste. And for example, now, plastic is actually a major problem globally right now. So there are concepts where you can go plastic free. You can use alternatives.
Solid waste management is the most pressing environmental challenge faced by urban and rural areas of Nigeria. Nigeria's population is estimated to double by 2050, and this could mean more solid waste hanging around. Unless an improvement is seen, local recyclers can only go so far in meeting the country's recycling needs. Timothy Obiezu for VOA News, Abuja.
Lawyers for a prominent Tanzanian investigative journalist asked for urgent medical attention for their client Friday after a court adjourned his case for the 3rd time. Eric Kabendera was arrested at his home in Dar es Salaam on July 29th. Police say he was detained over issues concerning his citizenship, but on August 5th he was charged with leading organized crime, failing to pay taxes and money laundering. Kabendera's lawyers and rights groups say the charges against him are politically motivated. We're excited to hear what you think about Africa 54. Join the discussion on Facebook. The address is Africa 54. We're also streaming our broadcast live on Facebook. Please watch and share our show with your friends. Also check out our headlines 24/7 on voaafrica.com. Still to come, dance away your stress with Masaka Kids Africana. We'll be back.
I am Shaka Sali, host and senior editor of VOA's international call-in talk show, Straight Talk Africa.
Today we'll examine the tobacco industry.
We pretty much touch on anything that you can think of. Politics, health issues, human rights issues, you name it, we talk about it. The issues that we discuss are pertinent to most people on the African continent. A very, very rare and unique opportunity to interact with their leaders.
The lyrics could be French,
English,
Portuguese,
Bantu,
Arabic.
It is the beat.
The African beat that counts.
The beat does all the translations.
It cuts across all languages and gives us the understanding that this is the African beat.
It is so distinct
and adhesive.
It binds us together.
African Beat on the Voice of America. For more information, visit our website at www.voanews.com/AfricanBeat.
Dogs, cats, and even ferrets have been crossing borders throughout Europe thanks to the EU Pet Passport scheme, introduced in 2000. In order to travel, pets need a passport, a rabies vaccine, and a microchip. 3 weeks later, they're off. But if Britain leaves the European Union without a divorce deal, that could result in Britain being chucked out of the Pet Passport program. Failure to follow new rules could result in pets being quarantined. Next up, these children are having a great time in the playground at their kindergarten. But there's not a toy in sight. At Australia's eco-friendly Isabel Henderson Kindergarten, they've removed all the plastic toys so that the children can learn to enjoy nature instead. The idea is that by removing traditional toys, the children are encouraged to think more for themselves and create their own amusement. Instead of trucks, the children play with sticks, plants, and rocks, and even a mudslide, which they are slowly getting used to. And finally, California is known for being ahead of the curve on green policies. Sustainability is the buzzword in the city of Santa Monica. A big trend in tourism here is ecotourism, with visitors searching out eco-friendly hotels to stay at during their travels. In Santa Monica, ecotourism is seen as a strong dollar earner. The clam takeout food shell containers are made out of plants and fibers, which degrade to compost after 90 days. Other permitted materials include paper, fiber, wood, wheat straw, and edible materials. Plastic, bioplastic, and aluminum are prohibited. And that's what's trending today.
U.S. President Donald Trump is pulling out of attending events in Poland to commemorate the 80th anniversary of the start of World War II. Trump says he is sending Vice President Mike Pence in his place in Warsaw so he can focus on the arrival of Hurricane Dorian, which is heading to Florida from the Caribbean.
To ensure that all resources of the federal government are focused on the arriving storm, I have decided to send our Vice President Mike Pence to Poland this weekend in my place. It's something very important for me to be here. The storm looks like it could be a very, very big one indeed.
The hurricane which battered the U.S. Virgin Islands 2 days ago is forecast to reach Category 4 strength while approaching Florida's eastern coast on Monday night. After that time that Trump had been scheduled to return from Poland. The president says he phoned Polish President Andrzej Duda to explain that his highest priority is the safety and security of the people in the path of the hurricane. Trump says he will reschedule his trip to Poland for the near future. Now, the lineup is now set for the next U.S. Democratic presidential debate in September. A total of 10 contenders qualified for the debate in Houston, Texas on September 12th. VOA national correspondent Jim Malone has more on who is in the next debate and what it means for the race to pick a Democratic presidential nominee.
Former Vice President Joe Biden, the current frontrunner, based on a variety of public polling, heads the list of Democrats who qualified for the third presidential debate.
And we got to put the country back together again. And it's not going to be enough just to have defeated Donald Trump. That will get the biggest impediment out of the way. But we have to unite the country. We have to bring the people together again.
For the first time, Biden will be on stage with a key rival, Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren. Warren has been rising in the polls with a promise of bringing sweeping change to the country.
We're not going to fix that with one little statute over here or a couple of regulations over there. The only way we fix that is with big structural change. You ready for some change?
Also on stage will be Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders, who continues to battle Warren for second place behind Biden.
We're not talking about utopia. We're simply talking about a nation where people live with dignity and security, and that is something we will achieve together.
In the America we believe in.
Also qualifying for the September debate are California Senator Kamala Harris, South Bend, Indiana Mayor Pete Buttigieg, New Jersey Senator Cory Booker, former Texas Congressman Beto O'Rourke, Minnesota Senator Amy Klobuchar, former Housing Secretary Julian Castro, and entrepreneur Andrew Yang. For those contenders who did not qualify, it's a major blow, says Susan Page.
With a big field like this, it's hard to break through so that people notice you and can even think about whether they want to support you. If you can't make the debate stage, it just gets harder.
New York Senator Kirsten Gillibrand was among those who failed to qualify, and she quickly decided to end her campaign.
But it's important to know when it's not your time and to know how you can best serve your community and country.
The Democratic candidates debate.
The increasingly tougher qualifying standards to make the debates is beginning to sort out the Democratic field, says analyst Darrell West.
That field is going to start to shrink as we head into the fall, and as we get closer to Iowa, there are probably going to be about a dozen candidates that get taken seriously.
When our kids are watching today.
Among those failing to qualify for the next debate were Montana Governor Steve Bullock, Hawaii Congresswoman Tulsi Gabbard, and environmental activist and billionaire Tom Steyer. Jim Malone, VOA News, Washington.
It's time for our entertainment segment, and joining us now is Music Time in Africa host Heather Maxwell. Hello, Heather. We are excited to hear what you've lined up for us today.
Hi, Esther. How are you?
Good.
Hey, everybody. Happy Friday. You know, we all get stressed out sometimes, and then we have our ways to unwind and de-stress. Well, earlier this month, the Ugandan foundation group Masaka Kids Africana premiered a new video that dances away their stress. It's called Kumbaya Dance. Many of the kids in the group, through the power of music and dance, are making their future brighter, and they ain't stressing. For more Music Time in Africa, be sure to listen to my hour-long radio program, live or online, Saturdays and Sundays on FM and on shortwave, or you can listen anytime at voanews.com and just search for Music Time in Africa. Esther, back to you.
You know how I'm smiling ear to ear? Because those kids are amazing, Heather.
I know, aren't they?
They're from Uganda. Have you been there yet?
No, I have not yet been to Uganda. I've been to maybe 16, 17, 18 countries in Africa so far, but not Uganda. So when I go, I'm going to look them up and maybe learn a couple dance moves and you know, put away my stress.
Yes. Dance away your stress, right?
Yeah.
Wow, great. What do you have lined up for us next week?
Next week, I have an artist named E.L. from Ghana who came in the studio. He was just here a couple days ago, right here at VOA. He's an amazing artist, and he joins me, and we listen to some of his music and
great,
get to know him.
Sure. Thanks, Heather, for another great Music Maker segment. Again, be sure to join Heather Maxwell again next Friday as she revealed another fantastic music talent right here on Africa 54. And that's our show for today. From all of us here in Washington, have a fantastic weekend.